another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is The Magic of Marie Laveau, Embracing the Spiritual Legacy of the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans by Denise, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this last name, Alvarado, maybe? This one? Yes, so good. Oh my goodness. Spoiler, but it's good. So as the title would suggest, this is about Marie Laveau. If you don't know who she is, have you been living under a rock? I mean, like, even the non-witches usually have a vague idea. Because, like, there's, like, so many, like, just random references to her, you know? Like, there's horror films. Usually, whenever you get around Halloween time, inevitably she kind of comes up. If you ever go near New Orleans, it's gonna come up, you know? So she's pretty infamous around the world, but if you don't know, she is, as the subtitle would suggest, as often labeled as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. She was a very influential person in the 1800s and really did a lot. And that is what this book does. It gives you the actual life of Marie. She kind of dismantles some of the legendy aspects and tries to find the actual truth, because Marie was a real person, right? And like relatively recent past too, where, you know, we have so much of the ancient world that we have absolutely no idea. We know her. We know of her. We might not exactly know where her grave is. That's a part of this book. That was interesting. Didn't know that. But on a whole, like, we have people who have written documentation, not like translated through multiple generations and languages. It's here, right? Like, it feels like it was that long ago, but really it wasn't. It's what, like maybe 4 or 5 generations back, you know? Like, it's not that far in the past. I suppose it depends on your generational timing, but still. I was on the fence with this one. I'm teetering between a 4 and a 5, and since I don't do 5s that often, I'm gonna just give it, mostly because of the first part of the book. The other parts don't apply to me, so that's where it's like, is it really a 5? I don't know. But I don't have a lot of 5s anyways, so we'll give it the blessing of a 5. Because the thing is, the first part of this book actually is like, that's the thing. I read so many books, so when I can actually learn something and it's like, well, dang, that's something like epically new, that's a really good feeling. And I didn't know a lot about Marie Laveau. I mean, if you watched, like, literally, again, I think, wasn't she a character too in American Horror Story? Because you had Kathy Bates playing such a horrific villain. And I mean, she usually does anyways, but, you know, like, in that season, I swear, which is even then getting dated, but I swear they had a Marie Laveau. I don't even know if they used that name. I don't remember. It's been so long since I watched that. It was during the Coven season, but I think, right? Yeah, because I think it was during the Supreme Witch, right? See, it's been a long time since I watched that show, because also it's some messed up. It's not my speed. But anyways, like, I didn't know a lot about Marie Laveau. It's just one of those names you just kind of hear. You stumble across it. You stumble across voodoo a little bit. But for the most part, like, I think if you lived closer to that area, you would learn more. Utah, that's not a thing. Like, we got our own weird culture here. Apparently we, again, had the alchemy school here, which is, like, wild. But for the most part, we are not that at all. Like, Utah is not, like, the voodoo anything, really. I'm sure we have some branch here, but it's not a lot. It's not really spoken about, and we just don't have that history. Our history is very based on, like, the Mormon history and them running away from the law and settling here to get away so that they could have their religious freedom and to marry a lot of women to old dudes, basically. That's the core of ancient Mormon and modern FLDS. But, like, it's not voodoo, right? We don't have that weird mix of all of these different cultures and, like, the horrifics that happened. Read a history book. Like, down there, it was bad. But seeing the history where you only hear about it in little segments, this book gives you the context as much as you really can. And it talks about how Marie Laveau was technically a freed black woman back in the day, but also owned slaves with her husband. They owned slaves, which is like, what in the what? Oh, and it's like, you have to put it in context of the times, and it breaks your brain a little bit because it's just so against modern, like, society that you're like, what? It's crazy. Did I know that before this? Absolutely not. Did I know that the name Marie was like kind of a passed around from various of her like mother and grandmother? No, did not know that. Did I know that she had multiple husbands, that like she's married different dudes? No. Like, there's so much to it. Did I even know there was a Marie Laveau too? No. You learn a lot in this book. Like, there's so much that I just didn't know. It's not something we learn about here. Like, maybe if it's your special interest, but on a whole, it's not really a thing here. And so it was so interesting to get to see, again, the context matters. The historical, like, where it actually happened, the world, that matters, and it's talked about. Honestly, I think the author did such a fantastic job of taking out the myth and making Marie a person, where it's not like, oh my god, she's the voodoo queen. Like, she was a person, and she was helping people. That was one of her big things, is that she would help a lot of people. Didn't really matter who. She was there at death row. She was there helping the elite. Like, everywhere in between, she was there. And that's not something, maybe you hear about it more if you've already been having her as like a special interest. If you grew up in the area, maybe you knew that. But that's not something that's like heavily advertised, right? It's just like, ooh, spooky voodoo. And then you think about like the crazy altars and the tools and the gris and the dolls and stuff. Like, that's at most usually what you think about. And so it was nice to put the actual human into this, because she's really elevated into like legend, and it's nice to have it like, hey, yep, let's just drag back down a little bit more into reality. This was an actual person. And it was so good to read, and again, discussing things that it keeps it in the context as like an academic, but also then it switches off into, if you want to honor her, how to do that, how to be a devotee to her, and then how to do a little bit of voodoo as well. It's got some stuff at the end. Is that my speed? No. Is it too Christian for me? Absolutely. I don't want anything to do with Christian-y stuff. It's just, as much as possible, I'm skipping it. Palms and stuff, oh. Saints, absolutely not. Not my thing. So that part, that's where it was like, it was teetering into a 4 for me. It's like, I genuinely don't care. Is this any kind of witchery I would be doing? No, not my thing. But again, and I mentioned this, it's good to explore outside of your usual boundaries just to know stuff. Like, if I end up going in some alternate universe, I end up going to New Orleans, like, the fact that it's so squishy, and I've just been to, like, Atlanta International Airport, and it's so busy, and I hates it with a burning passion, because it sucks. Like, it's just, oh my god. It's so busy and crowded, and just, oh my god. And it's not to say other ones aren't, but just, there's, like, a specific level of just chaos for there. And, like, I remember watching, like, a few YouTubers back in the day showing, like, driving through, like, Louisiana, Georgia, that general vibe, and I'm like, that traffic looks horrific. And then seeing like vlogs of people down there, oh my god, no. I'm a car person. I like the West, where we got some room. Not all of the West, I should say. Wherever the F Utah counts, Utah, Arizona, like Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, we're all kind of the same weird little deserty bunch. Like, I feel like the coast is its own deal. Like, California, Oregon, Washington kind of do their own thing. We're the deserty side of things. You know, we're car-centric, and so when I see New Orleans and it's like, I wouldn't want to drive my car here. I think I would literally have an aneurysm. Like, it's so much traffic. Like, I couldn't. And then trying to walk there, oh my god, there's too many people. I don't like it. I would never go there. Like, it's the same as Salem, though. Like, I would love to go to Salem, like the witch capital Salem, right? No, it's too many people. The roads are tiny. It's just how the old world was. Like, they didn't have cars. And so now that we do, I'm like, and everyone wants to go there. Like, Salem and New Orleans are like some of the hottest points to hit in the US for like witchery, right? Like they're the most spooky places, so like you want to go there, but also everyone wants to go there and it's too many people. So anyways, if in some alternate universe all of that didn't matter and I found myself there, this, like, I would be so glad to have read this book because I feel like I have enough context, not like, obviously I'm not like an expert on her, but I feel like I have enough basic knowledge now that I would want to go and seek her out at, I think isn't it just called like New Orleans Cemetery 1, like number 1 or whatever. They have like, I think like 2, maybe 3 now, I don't know. Again, not the thing here. We just have, everywhere is a cemetery here. We have a lot of them, huge. It's just sprawling acres, but also it's in the ground. Like, I mean, we have some mausoleums, but they're really not popular. And so it's like the morbid in me wants to go because I want to see that. That's like, I love cemeteries and like nobody appreciates it. So maybe out there they would appreciate it. They seem to have a much different culture about it. Here you're just looked at as a weirdo. And it's like, I just want to walk around with dead people. Don't worry about it. Like, it's just the most relaxing, chill, calm place ever. Except where I live. Mine I can't go to. It's not the dead, it's the living. It is a drug lord area, and you will get jumped. Even if you have a big scary dog like I do. I about got jumped in the cemetery, so now I don't go to cemeteries anymore. Unless it's to specifically visit my family, and that's it. And then we dip out. And we go during well, even then I was jumped at like 1 in the afternoon. Anyways, so, and I think you have to have a turquoise anyways to go see her grave. But if I went, I would love to be able to give an offering of some kind. And this book gives you ideas of what to do. To be honest, I think I would just give like a flower. Because I feel like, no matter what, being like, I feel like you would enjoy a flower. Don't think anyone's going to be mad if you give them a flower, you know? And then also, you know, it wouldn't really damage the stone. And, you know, because there's a lot of that happened. Like, apparently it got painted pink at one point. Again, there's so much in here. Like, the history is just fascinating. And as someone who's very much an outsider, and very much not the complexion that you would typically associate with this particular region, like, it's fascinating to learn about. And I think the author did such a good job describing it. Again, for a hella outsider, it was so well written, and I think that's why I'm leaving it at a 5, because it's like, it was just that good of giving me context. Am I going to do any of the spells? No. Am I going to do any of the devotee stuff? No. Again, at most, if I happen, in an alternate universe, to be there, I'll leave a flower and be like, you did a lot of good, so thanks. I don't need anything, just thanks. Because, like, that's it. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, can you give me luck? Can you give me? Like, I'm good. But just like, I don't know, person to person, just, it was interesting to see. Because like, I would feel kind of the same way if I found like, I don't even know if they have graves, but like Gerald Gardner, or when else Scott Cunningham doesn't have one. I wanted to go to his grave, and then you find out that there is no grave, and you're like, dang. So, can't go honor him there. But like, you know, just to be able to go to like a spiritual leader and their grave and be like, yo, you did a lot, thanks. And hope one day that somebody will care that you're dead centuries later in such a niche community. That's a big deal. And it's like, you know what? Hope all is well on the other side. Anyways, I'm going on such a side tangent. Basically, if you were interested in Marie Laveau, or you're wanting to expand after your beginner witch stuff, this is a great thing just to learn about. It might not always apply to you, but I think you should expand your horizons just to know something outside of your usual. This is a really good place to just get to learn some stuff. So anyways, I would love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it's patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Over there I have my audiobooks for free. You just have to be a free member, and then you get access to my books. Like, you don't actually have to buy my book if you don't want to. If you do, it's linked below. But if you want it for free, because I want my witchcraft accessible, it's there. Do I have a good phrasing for this yet? No, I'm working on it. But, it's there. And then if you want to pay money, you can get access to some other stuff, but don't ever feel obligated. My actual teaching stuff is for free because I think witchcraft should be accessible. So anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts. And if you've made it to the very end, my new thing, I'm trying to tell you to do stuff so that I know you've reached the end. So if you have reached the end of this video, I would love for you to leave a fire emoji. Do they have a campfire one? If they have a campfire one, do that. If not, just do like a little flamey flame. It's not related to the book. I'm just gonna do a campfire tonight, so that's on my brain. But that way I know you reached the end. And if you don't have that, then I don't know what to tell you. Google it and copy paste it. Anyways, till next time, thank you so much for coming along, and blessed be.